seen large hail, and they have been as big as golf balls, even as much as tennis balls at times here this evening. So again, tornado warning just outside of Oklahoma City. If it stays on the same track where the main area of rotation is that I'm seeing here right now, that would be headed towards Norman, Oklahoma. Of course, we just tracked that rotating wall cloud as it moved over Oklahoma University and the National Weather Center there. Now, I want to bring in meteorologist and storm specialist Carl Parker and meteorologist Todd Borek. They are standing by. They are in the lab right now. And guys, we're going to simulcast right now. You guys are going to take over tracking these storms among others. I know you've got special coverage that will be on the app tonight as well, including an eclipse.
Yeah, that's right. And we are watching very dangerous storms right now over a pretty large area from Oklahoma all the way up into parts of Iowa and into Kansas. We'll have more on that in a moment. Let's begin with a look once again at this cell that is now south of Oklahoma City. So an ongoing tornado warning here for Grady and McLean counties. Again, there has been a report of a funnel cloud. It got a very large circulation associated with this storm. That circulation basically sitting right in there, and so that is where the tornado might be developing, and that is generally going to be moving up towards the Blanchard area and also into Newcastle as well. As Jackie was mentioning moments ago, kind of a complex structure in the velocity data. We go back several frames here. You notice there's a little something showing up that is just northwest of 44, kind of lifting north and coming up towards the Amber area. Now to the south, maybe some rotation just south of 44. I'm not seeing anything that really jumps out right at this time, but again, there is this just broader circulation within the storm that's right in there. That is generally along 44 now and coming towards Blanchard as well. Also looking at another warning farther north, severe thunderstorm warning on a previously tornado warned storm. That is for Lincoln, Oklahoma, and Pottawatomie counties. Tornado possible tag along with this, and that is coming towards the Choctaw area right now. Looking at the possibility of some ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as well. So following that's going to be coming up into Choctaw in very short order here, moving into Nakoma Park as well, coming up into Harrah and into McLeod. And then farther along towards the north, got another warning in effect here. That is now just north of Oklahoma City, Logan and Oklahoma counties under warning for the possibility of damaging wind and hail. That is in the Village area, and it's going to be coming up towards Edmond as well as Waterloo. Then a little farther north of that, yet another warning that is in effect, a larger area here under warning, and Lincoln, Logan, and Payne counties under warning, and a warning for Logan, Noble, and Payne counties as well. So a lot of these cells are being warned on for possible tornadoes. What we have seen thus far is a lot of reports of large hail, again, reported funnel cloud, but no tornadoes.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
In some cases, Yukon reporting some golf ball size hail, Blanchard reporting greater than golf ball size hail. So we've got an ongoing threat for multiple hazards here for tornadoes, damaging wind, and also for large hail. Tornado watch in central parts of Oklahoma. That is going until 11 o'clock tonight. I want to show you the larger picture. We've got a vigorous system coming in here. You see the upper low that is now beginning to pull out of parts of the plains and the Intermountain West. A lot of instability here. Instability is really a measure of how tall a cloud can get. And when you've got a very tall cloud, it's entirely possible that you can get very large hail. So that is certainly going to be among the worries. And then on top of that, we've got wind shear in the atmosphere with our winds coming out of the south at the surface and then coming out of the southwest and a lot more quickly at about 5,000 feet. That creates spin in the atmosphere, and that makes it more likely that we get supercell storms, rotating storms, which are necessary to produce tornadic storms. So that is what we're looking at tonight across the plains. We've got storms farther northward as well, up into parts of Kansas and also in Iowa. Here's Todd with more on that for us now. And, you know, Todd, active active evening after a couple of quiet days with northwest flow. That moisture is streaming north, and we're off to the races now.
And this is something we've been watching for the last couple of days. And the big threat that we've been seeing really for the last few days and then really into today is the hail. Large hail has been a big issue, whether it's ping pong size hail. We've had some baseball size hail over the course of the weekend, and even some that has occurred early on today as well. So I'm going to show you the northern extent here. You can see severe thunderstorm warning stretches far north as Iowa and all the way down just north of Wichita, Kansas at this time. I'm going to start north and work my way south of here. In fact, a new tornado warning just popped up. In fact, I'm going to go and just give that one a real quick look here, and then I can let you take over a little bit, Carl. New tornado warning just here in Iowa for Montgomery and Potawatomi counties until 7:45. That is radar indicated with that tornado warning. So let me hop over to velocity mode here and get a better look at what we are looking right there. So there was some rotation. Let me hop over to velocity mode and get a better look at this. What we're going to be seeing throughout the course of today is something like this, where we're going to end up seeing, yep, you can actually see right here. I'm going to zoom in a bit and go into
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
So this is what that has popped up is right here, that little spin that is just to due west of Elliott. That is the tornado warning that just popped up. That is what the National Weather Service has seen. So there's a little bit of rotation. I'm rocking back and forth here on our velocity mode. This is moving off to the north and east. Let me track this out for you. So it is place like Elliott at 7:18, so you're talking really about 13 minutes from now, but this is the time you want to take cover immediately over the Griswold. And Carl, you have something you want to add to this as well?
Jump back if we could and get back to Oklahoma City, because there is a new tornado warning now in the Oklahoma City metro area. This is Cleveland and Oklahoma counties under warning until 7:45. So this is the cell that was warned on previously in the Norman area. Notice that little appendage right in there. There's a little ball that is showing up, and that is just south of Midwest City. That appears to be moving basically to the northeast right now. So following that, that is going to move off towards Midwest City. Looks like Nakoma Park and Choctaw as well, but coming very close to Midwest City, especially if there's a deviation in that path, if it's a little more to the north, which is entirely possible. So heads up there in Midwest City, and then certainly Nakoma Park and Choctaw as well. We've got a possible tornado coming your way there. That is now moving towards that I-40 corridor right now near the 240 corridor. Seeing the rotation right there across 240. And again, that appears to be moving towards the northeast. So actually following it on velocity data, that does have more of a northerly component. So I'm going to redraw this with that in mind. And that is going to come, I think, really, really close to Midwest City. Might be moving towards Midwest City. In fact, let me draw that one more time. And I think maybe we've got something that's going on like that. So, heads up there in Midwest City. It looks like, that's where that circulation is headed right now. New tornado warning here that has just been issued, and that for Cleveland and Oklahoma counties here in the Oklahoma City metro area. We'll continue to watch the evolution of this and come back to this in just a moment. Todd?
Yeah, so this is going to be something we're going to be dealing with for a part of
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Inch and a half, 2-inch hail, and then with this circulation, now we're starting to get into the spin of this. I want to go briefly back to Iowa and just talk about the other warnings that we are seeing off to the north. A bigger perspective here. Let me zoom back out again. You can see the line of severe thunderstorms that is stretched from Iowa into Kansas. So again, severe thunderstorms over in Monia County. That's until 7:15. So really just about a good 7 minutes from now. We have that tornado warning that had popped up here. This thing is moving off to the north and west. I'm going to step over here and look at it. 25 miles an hour moving off to the north and east. So let me redraw the track here for this particular cell, make it a little bit slower, and then you could still see that rather well, that nice tight circulation rather well on velocity mode here for Griswold at 7:34 and town of Lewis at 7:46. So here we are in Iowa. Also severe thunderstorm warnings. That is also for Crawford. That is until 7:15. So you have about another 7 minutes here, and then a bigger perspective showing that severe thunderstorm warning just down to the south. I want to make sure I get this one here. A lot of times when we have these warnings pop up, it will grab the tornado warning and not necessarily the severe thunderstorm warning. So also for the county of Fremont in extreme southwest Iowa, severe thunderstorm warning. Again, these are all hailers to the east of Nebraska City. I'm going to zoom back out and give you Pawnee City, and then I'm going to show you the hail tracks in this. These for Nemaha, Pawnee, and Richardson counties until 7:45, and getting some of these reports. So not only are we dealing with circulation that may drop tornado warnings, Carl, but we have some reports, a lot of reports coming out here. 1.5 inch, even 2 inch size hail. Downright dangerous here across Iowa, parts of Missouri, Kansas, and Nebraska, and we still have those ongoing tornado warnings.
A lot of instability in the atmosphere, and I want to jump back down into Oklahoma right now and show you, look at all the lightning with those 2 cells that are being warned on for a possible tornado. Tremendous amount of lightning here. Got a tornado warning that was issued moments ago for Cleveland and Oklahoma counties going until 7:45. An observed tag here, and so this is weather spotters confirming a tornado with this storm, and so we're watching this little notch right in there. And that is coming
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
so we can get a good sense of the vector. And yeah, that is definitely more of a northeasterly component. So I think coming right up towards Midwest City, towards Nakoma Park as well, Dungy Park, and then moving into Jones. If you're in any of those areas, please get to your safe place right now. Possible tornado coming your way. Then farther to the west, got an ongoing tornado warning for Grady and McLean counties here. Complicated cell, but that is generally headed towards the Blanchard area. We'll have more on this coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to our special coverage of severe weather across the central part of the plains. We are now on the Weather Channel network, and we're also streaming live to bring you this coverage of some very strong storms which have moved into the Oklahoma City metro area. Let's begin with a look at these cells. They have blown up just within the last couple of hours here. Look at all the lightning showing up with those cells that are south and also east of Oklahoma City. Tornado warning here. There was a report from weather spotters of a tornado prompting this warning. Cleveland and Oklahoma counties under warning until 7:45. So we're watching this little notch, this little appendage on the southwest side near Midwest City.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Coming into, say, that just across the 40 corridor, and then also towards, it looks like Route 62 as well, near Nakoma Park. And so heads up, a possible tornado coming your way. I'm not seeing anything that really stands out in the velocity data right now. Although that's kind of an interesting feature right there. Let's see where that is relative to the rest of the storm. That is coming towards Midwest City right now. Yeah, that's something certainly we want to watch. That's not exactly in the right place, but there's definitely a little pinpoint showing up there near Midwest City, and again, that's coming up towards Midwest City and also moving up towards Route 62 as well. So heads up in those areas, a possible tornado coming your way. Then farther south, Grady and McLean counties, and we've got a brand new tornado warning here for Cleveland, Grady, and McLean counties going until 8 p.m. That is radar indicated, so let's take a look at where that might be headed.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Right now, coming towards Blanchard and Goldsby, also Norman and Denver, possible tornado. And, I'll let you know that, this is a corridor where, and, I do think the topography plays a role here, but a lot of times storms really do tighten up as they come across this area around the south side of Oklahoma City and along 35. So that's certainly something that we want to keep our eyes on. There you see the velocity data. So we're definitely seeing more showing up in the velocity data right in there, that area of green and also that brighter yellow color. That's where the rotation is. And let's also go back and see if there's anything showing up in terms of debris. I'm not seeing anything that is a sort of a case closed to me, but there's definitely some stronger rotation there near Blanchard. And once again, that's going to be coming into Blanchard right now. So please get to your safe place right now there in Blanchard. Then moving in towards Norman. Beyond that, Goldsby as well, coming into the McGuire area and also into Denver, possibly. In all of those spots, be aware, possible tornado coming your way. Then farther north, we've had some additional cells across the metro producing largely hail. We haven't had any tornado reports as of yet, but many reports of very large hail, golf ball size and larger in several locations. That is definitely enough hail to cause some serious problems here across the central part of Oklahoma. And there is a tornado watch in effect going until 11 o'clock tonight for central Oklahoma, also up into the Tulsa metro. Another tornado watch here, that going until midnight tonight.
A tornado watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area. Tonight, windy with thunderstorms late. A few storms may be severe, low 57. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high 68. Higher wind gusts possible. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 42. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, welcome back to our ongoing coverage of severe weather, and we're looking at tornadic storms now in the Oklahoma City metro area. We have had reports of funnel clouds. We did have a weather spotter reporting a tornado on the southeast side of the metro. These storms really just popping up in the last couple of hours there in Oklahoma City. And let's get you the latest on warning now. Cleveland and Oklahoma. This is where there was a report of a tornado, and that is coming up towards that 62 corridor. So as we zoom in a little bit more here, we're looking at that little notch that is near Choctaw, and as that moves towards the northeast, that'll be coming up into Nakoma Park, also moving towards Dungy Park and towards Jones and towards Poole as well. Go back a couple of frames here, and I think that appears to be the trajectory. I might change that just slightly, make it a little more towards the northeast. So, you know, again, Nakoma Park, Dungy Park, Jones, and Poole. All of those areas, a possible tornado coming your way. So make sure you get to your safe place if you're there on the east side of Oklahoma City. Then farther south, new tornado warning for Cleveland, Grady, and McLean counties going until 8 p.m. We are seeing a pretty strong area of circulation near Blanchard right now.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Yellow color and also a darker green. That has actually been tightening up in the last couple of frames. So let's get a little bit closer and try to investigate this. So this is the area that we're watching right there near Blanchard. Let's see if there's any debris showing up. Not seeing any debris showing up right now. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a tornado. There certainly could be. And again, that has been tightening up in the last few minutes. So we're seeing strong winds moving away from the radar right there in yellow, and then moving towards the radar in green, and that is coming over Blanchard right now. So I'm going to zoom back out a little bit, and we'll get a good sense of the vector here, and that appears to be basically along towards the east, maybe a little bit south of east, and not moving terribly quickly. And that is going to be coming towards the Goldsby area, towards Norman as well, where we had a scare just moments ago, and then towards Denver. So taking that a little farther south, kind of matching that up. In any of those areas, heads up, we've got a possible tornado coming your way. Again, Goldsby and Norman, and also in Denver. That is now moving to the east, and let me double check the motion on this at 30 miles per hour, moving at 30 miles per hour. And so we'll be looking at that coming into the 35 corridor before very long here. So far, we have seen a lot of reports of large hail from around the metro, many reports of golf ball and larger hail, and that's going to be among the many threats that we are facing tonight in Oklahoma. Tornado watch going until 11, another tornado watch up in the Tulsa metro, and that is going until midnight tonight Central Time. And then farther north, we're looking at more storms in Kansas and also in Iowa, and here's Todd with the latest on that for us.
And Carl, these severe thunderstorm warnings, now we're starting to see some tornado warnings. Big line of storms. Whether or not we're dealing with large hail or even tornadoes stretched from western Iowa all the way down into far eastern Kansas. So a very strong line. But what I've been seeing lately are these tornado warnings. The one that's been holding on a bit longest here in Potawatomi County in Iowa. And with this, you can see a bit of circulation. I'm going to start a larger view, and I'm going to zoom back in. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more to this. But
a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Right about here, I'm going to step off and just show you. Right about here was that the Gateway Gate. We had a bit of a circulation there. So if you follow that a little bit farther off to north, that is what spawned the tornado warning. It does look like it may have broadened out a little bit, but still certainly there. I'm going to track this out to the north, and well, thankfully we're not seeing any cities that are coming out of that, but it does look like that particular cell may have broadened out a bit. But as I'm saying that, a new tornado warning has popped up here for Crawford County, Iowa, and that is until 8 o'clock local time. This one not only has a bit of rotation, but it does have a very strong hail signature in there as well. So bigger perspective showing the cell itself having a somewhat of a rotation right about here. Again, I'm going to try and show this for you, at least on a larger scale. Right there is that's what we are looking. That was the rotation that the National Weather Service out of Des Moines, Iowa had seen, getting a little bit closer just to the east now. Looks like of Charter Oak. This is also moving off to the north and east at about 20 miles an hour. So some areas that will be impacted by this. Let me give you a better look here, just off to north and east. So Deloitte at 749, Huron at 757, and Boyer River at 809. One thing I also want to point out was also seeing some reports here of some very large hail that is also coming out of this particular cell. And boy, look at that. Some of the reports possibly upwards of baseball-sized hail in Charter Oak here in Iowa. So this is a really dangerous situation, Carl, for the simple fact that not only do we have large hail coming out of this, but we also have that rotation. So, boy, look at that. And again, this is with the hail tracks, this is an estimation, but we could be seeing upwards of anywhere from ping pong to baseball-sized hail here in Charter Oak, Iowa. So, yeah, bigger perspective here is that we do have tornado warnings up and down this line, but that also is still continuing into Oklahoma City as well. I just want to get this one last one before we get back to yours. Show you for Pawnee and Richardson counties, that until 8 o'clock. This also is one that is radar indicated, and this is in far southeast Nebraska.
All right, so we want to take you out to Oklahoma City right now. Live look at Oklahoma City. There's an ongoing tornado warning to the south, and that includes the Norman, Oklahoma area. There's also a new severe thunderstorm warning.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Baseball-size hail. Baseball-size hail. We'll have more on this coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to our special severe coverage. We are now live on the Weather Channel. We're also live on our app, simulcasting, and you're looking at live pictures of Norman, Oklahoma, where there is now a tornado warning and also a severe thunderstorm warning. And we're looking at the possibility of baseball-size hail coming towards Norman, a very impressive hail core now off to the west. We'll show you that on the radar in just a moment. Also looking at downtown Oklahoma City. We've got a serious threat here for large hail and damaging wind. There you see the downtown area where we did have some reports of hail already. Now it looks like the worst of the weather is south and east of town and not necessarily coming into downtown. So let's take a look at the radar now. and show you where all this is headed. One thing, you notice how all this blew up in the last couple of hours. Look at all of the lightning with those cells south and east of downtown. And got an update on the tornado warning now for Cleveland and McLean. That is going until 8 p.m. And tornado and baseball size hail is the threat with this storm. Noticing a notch developing on the southwest side, down near the Dibble area here. Look at that.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Started developing in the last few minutes. And boy, it's hard to get a sense of the vector on that kind of came together as it was moving out of the northwest, but looks like it might be headed to the east. I'm going to broaden this out so we can kind of capture a large area. And that looks like it's going to be coming towards the Cole area here, also moving towards Noble and Goldsby, Slaughterville, and also McGuire. Some pretty strong rotation now showing up right there. So please get to your safe place right now as a possible tornado is developing. And once again, I'm going to zoom in and we'll look at where the strongest rotation is right now. So that is near Cole. Let's circle that. So right there, vigorous rotation. Let's see if there's any debris. Oh, there is debris showing up. So we've likely got a tornado right now in the Cole area. If you're near Cole right now, so east of Route 76 and also south of 74B, that's the tornado right there. And let's see if we see a vector here. That basically just developed in that last frame, just firing up here, and that is now south of 74B. I'm going to go back to the velocity data and see if we can get a sense of where this is going. It looks like it's basically moving now to the east. I think east is probably the best guess at this time. Might be a little north of east, but that is definitely going to be coming into the Cole area most immediately. Then it might be a little more rural beyond that, but that is a strong circulation, and there is now also a debris signature showing up just south of that Route 74B.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Please get to your safe place. You don't have time to waste. It's not moving incredibly fast. It's moving east, I believe, at about 30 miles per hour. We did just get a new tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service. So the motion here actually east at 20 miles per hour. So it's not moving, terribly quickly, but we are seeing a strong rotation and we are seeing debris showing up. Once again, I'm going to circle that area as it is coming towards Cole. And we'll go back over to the correlation coefficient. That is definitely a tornado showing up right there. So what this is showing us is where there are irregular objects that are being detected by the radar, whereas rain and hail tends to be a little bit more rounded. When an object is more irregular in shape, that can be tree debris or structural debris, whatever the case is, when we see that, those lowered values, those greens and blues co-located with a very strong circulation, we know there's a tornado on the ground. So that's exactly what's happening in the Cole area right now. I'm going to go back a couple of frames. And that does appear to be moving basically due east. So that's going to be a long 74B and moving into Cole. And then beyond that, looks like it's going to be possibly coming towards Goldsby and maybe towards Noble as well if it continues along towards the east. But again, that is an ongoing tornado right now in these areas. Now, I also want to show you there's a serious hail risk on top of that. You see Norman right there where we already had some hail with a previous storm. We're watching that very bright core right in there, and we can look also at what is called differential reflectivity. You see how it's all gray in there? That gray is indicating that we indeed do have very large hail.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Into the Norman area and surrounding areas. So I'm going to kind of track out that largest core and we'll see where that's headed. That is going to be coming into Norman about 7:50 or so. So you've got maybe 10 to 12 minutes before that hail core begins to move in. And again, there's a threat for baseball size hail with that part of the storm. I don't think a tornado threat in Norman. That is well to the south, again near 74B, but there is a threat for very, very large hail coming into Norman. Also, an ongoing tornado warning up into Oklahoma County. Still watching that little appendage near the Choctaw area. And so right there, that's an interesting feature right there. Look at that right there. Let's see what that looks like in velocity right now. So there could be a little tornado that is developed right there near Choctaw. I'm going to go back a couple of frames. That appears to be moving basically due northeast. And so let's follow that forward. Looks like that's going to be in a largely rural area, but possibly a tornado right now near Choctaw and also near Hera as well. Looking at the correlation coefficient, I'm not seeing any debris signature right now. I'm not seeing an incredibly strong rotational velocity signature, but I am seeing that little appendage right there. So certainly could be a tornado there in the Choctaw area. We definitely want to keep our eyes on that. We'll get back to Oklahoma City and surrounding areas in a moment. We also have tornado warnings into parts of Nebraska and Iowa, and here is Todd with more on that for us now.
Yeah, right now 2 active tornado warnings, one in Iowa and a new one that is just been issued for Nebraska, and start north with the one in Iowa. We have
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
But this one for Crawford County. Not only are we looking at rotation here, but really concerned about the hail signature. In fact, ping-pong baseball-sized hail being reported with this particular cell. So I'm going to zoom in a bit more, move over to velocity mode, and just show you how slowly this storm is moving. This is a 1-hour loop, and it basically is staying within Crawford County for about a good half hour or so. So it is moving very slowly. Going to zoom in a little bit more and also show you the hail with this. In fact, some of the reports coming out of this, seeing at least baseball-sized hail. So not only are we worried about the rotation, possible tornado, but we also are seeing extremely large hail. Look at some of these numbers, at least being interpolated by our software here. Over 3-inch size hail. That is downright dangerous. Going to zoom into this cell. Again, here we are just to the east of Charter Oak. That's where I saw a couple of reports of baseball-sized hail. And this cell itself is, sometimes when you get a little this far out, it's hard to pick up, but you have a bit of rotation that is being picked up. So I'm going to time this thing out for you. Deloitte at 7:58, so approximately a good 18 minutes or so from now. But again, take cover immediately because Deloitte, you are still in that tornado warning. Boyer River, keep an eye on this because it is going to be trending in your direction, although it is moving relatively slowly. Going to zoom out and show you the at least the tornado parameters, and you can see here in at least western Iowa, we are picking up a lot of the darker shades of red, so would not be surprised we end up seeing some more activity that could come out of this. Far to the south, the tornado warning here in far southeast Nebraska for Pawnee and Richardson counties. That's until 8 o'clock local time as well, and this one also has
a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Decent amount of hail that's coming in with this. Going to zoom into Pawnee City here and then over into velocity mode. And right here we had a little bit of a rotation, but it looks like it is broadened out a little bit. But I'm going to at least take this.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
For Humboldt at 8:02, so that's over the top of the hour, about 20 minutes from now. Dawson 8:11 and Stella at 8:26. These are all areas that are under not only tornado warnings, but we have many areas here that are looking at some very large hail over into Kansas. Marshall, Nemha, and Potawatomi counties in Kansas, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And also just to the east, in fact, just want to get this one here. We do have that new severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up here for that does include Topeka, Kansas, for Douglas, Jefferson, and Shawnee counties. That is until 8:30. Going to stop this here for you, and track is out for the new scan just came in. Let me track out this entire line as we are seeing the possibility for some large hail for Topeka at about 7:56, about 15 minutes from now. Carl?
All right, so we want to jump back down into the Oklahoma City metro area and show you the latest on the correlation coefficient. That is a tornado right there, now moving slowly into the coal area.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Seeing a very vigorous debris signature. Please take cover in coal right now. It's going to be moving along that Route 74B. We'll have more on this coming up in just a few minutes. Welcome back to our special coverage of severe weather. We are watching very dangerous storms now in Oklahoma City, the metro area. Let's get right into the warnings. Got a tornado warning now for Cleveland and McLean counties going until 8 p.m. Also another tornado warning to the south of that, that for Cleveland and McLean as well. Considerable threat tag, a large and extremely dangerous tornado here. Look at the rotation, very strong rotation along that Route 74B, which is essentially moving towards the east, maybe just a little bit to the north of east. I want to also show you that we are still seeing a profound debris signature that is coming across the Cole area. Cole is a small town along that Route 74B, and it looks like they have taken a direct hit from this storm as it has moved in. That area right there in that dark blue color, that is debris that is being churned up by the tornado right now. That's irregular shapes. It can be tree debris, it can be structural debris, whatever the case, it is non-meteorological in nature. And so that is the tornado right there. We are watching that now coming into the Cole area. Now I'm going to move out a little bit, and we'll try to get a sense of where this thing is headed. Now, you notice that, there almost appears to be
a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
But, let's just cheat it a little bit and maybe go a little to the north of east to have that in mind. So that could be coming towards the Goldsby area, also towards Noble as well, and across that 35 corridor. Again, very large debris signature showing up with this storm right now, and a confirmed large and dangerous tornado. Weather spotters reporting that there is a tornado. So if you're in any of these areas near that intersection of 74 and 74B, 35 south of Norman, 77 south of Norman, Goldsby, Noble, in any of those spots, please get to your safe place right now. A very serious storm now moving in, and what's making it worse is that this thing is wrapped in rain. And so there is our tornado right in there. And, all around there, that is all heavy rain. And so this is not one of those cases where you're going to be able to get eyes on it very easily. It's just heavy rain in all directions around this tornado as it is coming towards that 35 corridor. Very, very dangerous storm here now in southern parts of the Oklahoma City metro area. Also got a severe warning for the Norman area. Could be extremely large hail with that cell. Now also a severe thunderstorm warning farther to the north, looking at supercell that is now moving up and towards the 44 corridor as well. So a lot of reports of hail, and then the most recent report of that tornado on the south side of the metro, that dangerous storm that we've been watching here, that in the Cole area, and we'll continue to keep a close eye on that. There are other tornado warnings as well. Let's get the latest on that with Todd.
Yeah, in fact, new tornado warning just came out here right over in Nebraska City. So right on
a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
For Cass, Fremont, and OT counties, this new tornado warning just came up just moments ago. Going to zoom in here again. Nebraska City, you are in the middle of this, so you can actually see a bit of that rotation. We go back just a couple of frames here, so that is certainly moving in your direction. This tornado is actually moving off at a decent clip here, at 35 miles an hour. So let me reset this. But Nebraska City, it's basically going to be on top of you shortly. Get in safe spot immediately. The most interior part of your house, get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Nebraska City, you are in this tornado warning, and that circulation is headed in your direction. You only have moments away. Take cover. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back to our ongoing coverage of severe weather in the Central Plains and farther north as well. We are now live on the Weather Channel Network and also on our streaming app, showing you what has been a very dangerous storm south of Oklahoma City. And you see all the lightning associated with that storm. These have just blown up in the last couple of hours here. And right now, an ongoing tornado warning for Cleveland, McLean counties, considerable threat tag for a large and extremely dangerous tornado. Now, I want you to see what has happened, the evolution that has occurred here in the last few minutes. So you see that dark area right in there. That was the tornado right there showing up, coming into the coal area, very well defined in the reflectivity mode. Continue to kind of lift up into coal. Now watch this. So here is where you've got inflow. That is where warm and humid air is coming into the storm. Now as we continue to go forward, you see where that's kind of getting pinched off. That area of warm and humid air is kind of getting pinched off. And so the result is that we're not seeing as well defined of a circulation as we were looking at moments ago. We can go to the velocity mode here. Still a very strong circulation showing up in the velocity mode here, but it's now lifting up and into the middle of this rain core. And the whole thing has been turning more towards the northeast as opposed to east. So right in there is where there's still rotation. And let's follow this as it moves up. You see it's been moving east.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for
off to the northeast. So following that forward, that's going to be coming more towards the Norman area. But I would not be surprised.
a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Weakening because it is firmly now embedded within that area of rain. I think the area of inflow is starting to get choked off. Let's also look and see what's showing up in the debris. We're still seeing a debris signature showing up here. So this continues to be a really dangerous storm now. And we've got a new warning that has just come out here. Confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado moving east at 20 miles per hour. I do think we've got more of a northeast component to this storm. And you see, you can follow that debris signature as it came up. And now, it's a lot more diffuse relative to what it was over coal. You can see right over coal right there. I mean, that is a very well-defined debris signature right there. And it's not as well defined right now. So again, I do think that there is some impact from the fact that you've got this area of inflow that is being sort of pinched off. But, of course, there's a lot of velocity already. It doesn't just spin down right away usually. And that is now, again, it has taken this kind of a left turn. And so I think it is now moving more towards the Norman area right now. So coming up into Goldsby, if you're in Goldsby, please get to your safe place right now. Still got a tornado warning here for a confirmed large and dangerous tornado. Again, I do think the storm is cycling. We're seeing the inflow getting cut off here. But sometimes
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Organizes, and we continue to see strong circulation in the velocity data right in there. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that is absolutely still a strong circulation, and really has taken a left turn here. I'm going to go back a couple of frames, and we can kind of follow this out. Let's move out just a little bit. So this is where we first started seeing right in there exceptionally strong circulation in the coal area. We go forward a couple of frames, we see that came right across coal and then started to turn more towards the north, really almost due northeast right now. It's kind of lifting up, which is, not surprising because, as I say, the storm is cycling, so it's kind of pulling that circulation closer into the core of the storm, but it's still a very strong circulation. And this is now, from my eyes, now headed more towards Norman. I mean, you could make the case that it's even a little more of a northeasterly component than that. Let's just draw that even a little more northeast, so that would be squarely coming into Norman. Kind of following that there. You see how it made that left turn? It was moving east, 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 and now moving, a little more left, and now appears to be moving more up and towards the Norman area. So, heads up there in Norman. We're still seeing, even though this thing is wrapped into the core and completely wrapped in rain, we're still seeing a very strong velocity signature here, and that is now moving towards Norman. I'm going to go back to the velocity mode here one more time, and we'll circle that. That's where the strong circulation is right now. That's just west of 35. I was looking at this on the Google Maps moments ago. It does appear to be largely farmland, but you're getting closer to 35. And obviously, as you get more northeast and you get more towards Norman, becomes a whole lot more developed and heavily populated. And so, I do think that is moving more towards the northeast. Now let's see, we've got a new warning that has just popped out here, and they're still calling this an east motion. But I do really think that has got northeast.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for our area.
Norman, as that lifts up there. I mean, you could make the case that it's even more. Yeah, look at that. So there's a new velocity scan. I mean, it's even more profound than that. It's more. Let me erase this very quickly. It's almost like northeast right now. So it's like this basically is where this thing is headed at this time, and that's being reflected in the new